now the seedings, I think, are also what I predict they're going to end up. Kansas City as the 1 seed.
Okay.
New England is the 2 seed, of course, you know. Houston is the 3 seed. Pittsburgh is the 4 seed. The Chargers is the 5 seed. And Baltimore is the 6 seed. I have Minnesota with the 6 seed. And then we got Seattle with the 5 seed. I got Dallas with the 3 seed. And we have Chicago with the 4 seed. I'm sorry, and then the 1 seed is going to be the Rams. 2 seed is going to be New Orleans.
Welcome back to Cheese La Vida. We got back in the fucking house. As you heard by his predictions, slightly off, but honestly not too bad, man. Not too bad.
All these guys, this is what they get paid to do, so...
I mean, there's Stephen A. Smith, who's literally been wrong for, like, every year in the NBA Finals the last, like, 6 or 7 years, you know, so...
It was called The Curse. I saw the video of him picking every year.
So, I wrote it down here. The Ravens overtook the Steelers. The Colts snuck in. And then I think you picked the Texans to beat the Colts, right? I did as well. So.
Correct. I picked the Texans to beat the Colts this weekend. Ended up being a bad pick for me, I guess. But
I think I picked the Texans.
Yeah. The Colts are hot.
We'll get more into that in a second. But, so the Colts snuck in, and the Ravens overtook the Steelers on the AFC. Over on the NFC, the Bears moved up a seed, 4-3. Dallas dropped a seed, 3-4. And the Eagles overtook the Vikings.
Man, Kirk Cousins.
Very disappointing.
Kirk Cousins, he's like Matthew Stafford, man. He can't win a big game.
I told you, he's just fine.
Yeah.
They need a good quarterback. That's all they're missing. Someone who can win games. He could put up the same stats as Kirk Cousins.
But just
we need a winner.
Yeah, against Chicago.
I'm saying we like I play for the team, but you know what I'm saying.
I feel you. The final week of the season, he threw like 40 yards in the first half.
Choke artist.
He's 4-25 against teams that end up 500 or better. So if that isn't Stafford-esque, then what are we doing here?
I don't know. You're going to have to talk to the Wilfs on that. But what happened with your predictions? I mean, a little shuffle, but you said everything was going to stay the same.
Yeah, the Steelers ended up losing a game, I believe, to the Browns. I think they should have won. Or they lost the game late. They should have won. And then they won Week 17 against the Bengals, which was nice for them.
It didn't mean anything.
It didn't mean anything, though, because Baker Mayfield needed to beat the Ravens, and he did a fadeaway interception. It was a great play. Heck of a play by him. Now, he's going to be good, though. He's going to be all right. The Browns are going to be a team to mess with in a couple years.
Are they really, though?
Yes, they got...
Are they taking the Steelers spot? Because I'm guessing the Ravens are probably just going to stay where they're at.
The Ravens are going to stay in
complete mediocrity.
Too. Yeah, they might get one in the next 5 to 10 years with Lamar. But if he gets hit...
It's over.
Cares that, the running quarterbacks, how long have they... We look at...
I mean, I think the best one, technically, as far as longevity, is Steve Young.
Yeah.
That was in the 90s when people didn't scramble like that.
Yeah, I mean, we got... And then you look at, like, the Donovan McNabbs. Like, he was a scrambler. And then you got Russell Wilson, and you got...
Well, he's more of the new school now, where it's more acceptable. McNabb, at least, the last decade, was still... standing out from the pack as far as running around, scrambling. And then you had Vic, of course, obviously, who was a complete outlier.
Yeah. They're out there. I don't think it's going to last. I don't think it's going to be a 5-year plan. I think the Ravens could win one in the next 1 or 2 years if that defense stays the way it is. And they add a big-time running back.
Are they going to own that division until the Browns?
I'm curious what the Steelers are going to do with their Le'Veon situation and their Brown situation. I don't know what's going to happen.
I think they're both gone.
Yeah.
Because
I don't know.
They could just not play. I mean, this is a totally different era, man. Players in every league have so much more leverage.
I think Bell's 100% gone. Brown, I had this weird feeling he's going to come back, dude. I don't know. I just can't see anyone giving up that much for a 30-year-old receiver.
Before we go further into these breakdowns, I'm just going to ask you this. I'm going to blindside you with it. Could he surpass Rice in yardage?
No. There's no way. He's been in the league.
Is he the only one right now who could even conceivably do it?
Well, I think...
8-9 years and he's at 11,000 yards. He's got to double where he's at to pass Rice.
I don't think he can do that because Ben is a great deep ball quarterback that he's been playing with.
Well, yeah, he'll put up like a 500-yard passing game out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah, so if he leaves there, where is he going to go that he's going to have a quarterback like that throwing to him? I hear these rumors, there's a whole thing about the 49ers. Jimmy Garoppolo, he's not completely proven yet. I like him. He's getting older, though. He's like 28, 29 already because he was behind Brady for so long. So, and they got pieces there. I don't know. I just don't think he's going to be in the right
What if he went to Chicago?
No, Chicago's ground and pound defense team.
Yeah, but you said the kid Trubisky needs some help out there. You think he's a little bit of a fraud, if I'm recalling exactly what you said. So some receiving help, Antonio Brown.
Yeah, they got a couple receivers. They got Allen Robinson.
You want to bolster that Chicago offense a little bit.
He would help for sure, but he wouldn't be... The only guy I think that could do it right now is Julio. I think he's got like 5 straight years over 1,500 yards or something crazy, or 1,400 yards.
In any case, I think the Steelers are fucked. However, I think you were right about the Bears and that this year, maybe not necessarily their year. Obviously not. They're out of the playoffs now as of this recording.
Correct.
But bright future.
Yeah, they have a bright future.
I hate the Bears. Fucking like hate that franchise. But, right now they're in a really good spot.
Yeah, their defense is great, young.
I feel the same way about them right now that I felt about the Seahawks when they lost to the Falcons and then won the Super Bowl the next year.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the Bears could do that, but I feel that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's possible they could do that. I mean, they faced Nick Foles, so you can't, Nick Foles look at him. He's the legend.
Playoff Foles is the man, bro.
They might tear it off and just win it all. You never know.
Bro, they really might, though. Like, I'm not even kidding.
Back-to-back years.
The fucking Eagles really might do that.
And then you trade Carson Wentz and Foles go back to regular season 5-11 next year, and Wentz leads some team to the Super Bowl. It's going to be great.
I don't even know how to feel about this season because everything is just fucking weird right now in the NFL.
I honestly hope Carson Wentz gets healthy next week and they have to make a decision. I really want to see what they would do.
You gotta go with the hot hand, bro. I'm not even kidding. You gotta go with the hot hand. You gotta go with Foles.
Right. Against, the best defense in the league, what he did yesterday.
Talk about this Eagles-Bears game.
The Eagles could not run the ball.
Because I went 3-1. The only one I was wrong on was the Texans.
Yeah.
I wanted the Seahawks to beat the Cowboys because, between you and me, I hate the Cowboys.
Yeah, so...
Hate them.
I went 2-2.
But I
started off with the Texans-Colts. I thought the Texans were going to... I thought Watson was going to be able to maneuver the pocket. He'll be running. He'll be doing this. He stayed in the pocket the whole game.
Maybe they told him to do that.
Yeah, maybe. He didn't run enough. He ran some.
Now, that's obviously an Achilles heel of those running quarterbacks, is when they stay in the pocket. Can they really do that? It always depends on the guy.
Yeah.
Can Deshaun Watson be that guy?
Yeah, it's a good question. Obviously, yesterday, the thing, I saw a stat that said, I think that was only his 20th career start or something.
Okay. How old is he, though?
How old is he? I think he's 22, 23. He's young.
Very young, okay.
He's a young quarterback, 24 maybe. He could do it. That Colts defense is playing well. DeAndre Hopkins was hurt.
Well, that whole Colts team's pretty hot right now.
Yeah, the Colts team is ridiculous right now.
And that's always a dangerous spot to be in when you're playing a team like that.
Yeah, and they said that they weren't going to be able to run the ball on the Texans, on Clowney and J.J. Watt.
You can't.
Honey Badger, but then Marlon Mack ripped off 140 yards. So, that O-line...
I don't think that was a sign.
Yeah.
I think that was just
Correct.
A game that guy happened to have.
Yeah, but I think that offensive line might be the best in the league.
Really?
Young. They drafted an O-lineman from Notre Dame, Quentin Nelson. They said he should have been the number 1 overall pick. They got him at 4, I think.
That's still a pretty good pick.
Right.
I mean, that's early on.
Yeah, that's early on, but he was touted as one of the best. But then they went offense. You know how the quarterbacks always go number 1. And
that's always how it is. And honestly, a lot of teams fuck themselves over getting that quarterback, and then he turns out to be average.
A lot of young quarterbacks this year, though, that I think are promising from this draft.
I thought you said this was a mediocre quarterback draft class.
I thought it was, but Sam Darnold looked good his last couple weeks.
I was talking about next year.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, I was talking about the 2018. We can get 2019 a little bit later. Yeah, that 2019, you just got Dwayne Haskins at the top from Ohio State, and he had 1 year, and he broke some records, and looks like a pocket guy, but I'm not a big believer yet. Just 1 year, so. But yeah, anyways, Colts dominated that game, 21-0 at half. It was ridiculous. Let's go to game 2, was the Seahawks and the Cowboys.
That was a defensive game.
It was for a while.
I didn't get the opportunity to watch the second half, but I watched the first half, and I loved it. Low scoring, all defense. That's
I like
my
those
kind of game.
games too. A lot of people hate them, think it's like I saw someone comparing it to baseball. How can we sit here and watch 3 hours of baseball but not 3 hours of this? But I thought it was good, tough playoff football.
I like that stuff, man. I don't care what anyone says. I'll take a hard-hitting, defensive-minded team over someone who's reliant on a quarterback throwing 400 yards a game.
I agree. I think the best thing about that game was when Zeke had like 110 yards of scrimmage at half, and they come out in the second half, the announcers are saying, yeah, Zeke was bottled up. And literally, as they're saying that, they bring out the stats. That's his career-high scrimmage yards and a half. He had like a big 50-yard run or something. Right?
He was doing his thing. It's just like...
He's the best pure runner in the league.
Is there anyone going to challenge him for the next several years?
Well, you got him and Todd Gurley are going back and forth. Who else do we got? Yeah, I just think Zeke's the best pure runner in the league. But yeah, Seahawks, Cowboys. Cowboys just made more plays. Amari Cooper, that was a big midseason acquisition. Dak played well. He got stopped twice on the 1 yard line.
Did he turn the ball over in the second half? I saw him...
I think he had a pick.
I saw him throw some passes in that first half where I was like,
Yeah,
Dak, bro, like, I thought you were the guy who kept the team under wraps. Why are you making these passes? And then there he was, just kind of throwing it carelessly. How did he rebound?
I don't know. Zeke's obviously... If you just turn around and hand it to Zeke 2 out of the 3 plays, so first, second, third down. If you hand it to Zeke 2 out of them and you make a quick throw, Cole Beasley is always catching big passes for Dak. He's his go-to guy. And then you have Amari Cooper now. And then you got a third guy, Michael Gallup, who caught a nice touchdown pass in the second half.
They were throwing to him way too much in the first half.
Yeah.
Because they were Troy Aikman was saying how they go to him on, I don't know, X amount of plays, but he only catches it like 48% of the time.
I heard that stat too.
Dude, stop throwing to him then.
Amari Cooper is the number 1 receiver. He's a legitimate guy. He might not be in that upper echelon of Julio's and Odell's and DeAndre Hopkins and Brown. He's in the second tier. He is that good. And Oakland wasn't utilizing him correctly. So now we have the Cowboys with him. He's a game changer. And that defense is for real. The defense stood up and beat Russell Wilson.
Yeah, you had a lot of faith in the Seahawks.
I did. I had the Seahawks beating the Bears if they would have played them. And that's why I think I have a lot of faith in the Cowboys, because they beat a good Seahawks team. And then yesterday, game number 3, we had the Chargers-Ravens. I thought both these teams had a legitimate chance to win the Super Bowl.
Well, yeah, you said Phillip Rivers was going to be slinging it over... They were going to go up against the Steelers.
Pittsburgh, yeah. He was going to sling it.
And you had them beating the Steelers anyway. And they ended up beating the Ravens, which is the same thing, basically.
Yeah, the Ravens, their defense is legitimate. But Rivers played well. He was running for first downs. I saw something on...
They only won by like 7, though.
Yeah, they did. They dominated that game, though. The Ravens had a couple late touchdowns trying to make a comeback.
Yeah, I didn't get to see the game. I was working, but I saw that it was like 21-3, 17-3, something like that.
They handled Lamar Jackson very well. They saw him 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, so they got to see him, and I think that helped them. Their front four is amazing. They're really fast on defense, which is big for them. Melvin Gordon played pretty well, even though he got hurt early. He came back out. Phillip Rivers.
Were they throwing a bunch of screens to him?
No, they threw a couple quick passes to the backup.
Because a few years ago, when the Chargers upset the Bengals, or whatever year that was, they were like a even 50-50 team. Like, they ran a lot, but they also drew up a lot of plays where they were throwing short passes to receivers and running backs.
Darren Sproul? No, that's when they had Danny Woodhead.
Yeah, and I think they also did have Darren Sproles in the same year. That was they were sharing the backfield.
Yeah, that might have been it.
So did they go back to the old style of Chargers where Phillip Rivers is just slinging it deep every play?
They're a little more grounded pound now. Melvin Gordon, but he still slings it, man. Let me tell you.
I don't even know if I should say the old school Chargers because that would technically be like LT's team.
Yeah, LT.
So maybe more like the early 2010s Chargers.
Yeah. I had the Chargers in that game, and they won it. Their defense is really good, and their offense is obviously really good, too. And then Game 4 was the Bears and the Eagles. We kind of covered already. The Eagles stopped the run, pressured Trubisky.
It was an experienced team who had literally just won the Super Bowl playing against a team who is still learning the ropes.
Hasn't been in the playoffs in a while. Yep, and that's a good way of putting it. Nicky Foles in the playoffs is unbeatable.
Can he beat the Saints, though?
Can he? Yeah. Will he? No.
You got the Saints at home.
Yeah, I got the Saints at home in the Superdome.
What about New England and Foxborough against
New England,
the Chargers?
Foxborough. I got a lot to say about that one.
Yeah, I'm going to the more interesting of the matchups first before we get into these other ones. I know you're a big Mahomes guy, but I want to talk about the stuff that actually matters.
Yeah,
so, Philadelphia, New Orleans. What are we looking forward to?
We're looking forward to Nick Foles slinging it. That's what we're looking forward to.
I'm guessing Drew Brees is going to try to match that.
That's what we thought about the Super Bowl last year. Brady versus Foles, and I came out and said, I got the Patriots by 100. And they lost to Nick Foles.
I don't know why you thought that. So, I was pretty confident that Philly was going to win, but I do believe I did take the Patriots in that one.
I was like the most confident I've ever been that the Patriots were going to win that game.
I really don't know why.
And they didn't. Well, I'm blinded by Brady, obviously. He's
I mean, there is
dude.
that, but I mean, Jesus, man. That Philly team is so stacked.
Yeah. The Saints' run D is very good. So if they can stop... Here's what I think is going to happen. I think the Saints are going to stop Philly early. And then when they build a lead, they're going to get up a touchdown or two, and you have the two-headed monster of Mark Ingram and Kamara in the backfield. You can just hand it to them. Third and short, third manageable. Drew Brees is going to pick you apart with Michael Thomas, and they're going to win that game.
That's mathematically probably...
Once they get a lead, they're going to, like I said, they're going to ground and pound, but they're also going to get after Nick Foles, too. But they did show a stat yesterday during the game that he's the best quarterback with the best passer rating when taking a hit. When he gets hit, he's accurate.
Well, how big is Foles? 6'4"?
I'm not sure.
I mean, he's a pretty big dude, right?
I saw something else that said he's the most interesting player in the league, and it's not even close. Just his career is the most interesting career.
Kinda, because he went to Philly as a starter.
He went to Philly as a starter
and became a backup, and then he became a starter.
He had an amazing year. I don't remember what year it was.
I don't remember either. But he had like 1 or 2 interceptions.
Yeah, it was
like
insane.
25 touchdowns.
It was an insane year.
7 games, 8 games,
he had like 6 touchdowns in a game. And then he goes to Kansas City as a starter, or somewhere as a starter.
I think it was Tampa Bay or something like that.
It might have been the Rams.
It was the Rams.
And then he gets benched. And then, like, they keep talking about how Andy Reid convinced him to stay in the league, and then he gets traded back to Philly. Carson Wentz gets hurt, and then he takes him to the Super Bowl and wins it, and then New Year, he's not the quarterback.
And now he might win
another Super Bowl. And then we're going to be wondering, what is happening? Do we make him the starter even though he sucks? But he just won 2 Super Bowls. So what number are we looking at? What are we looking at here? But I think New Orleans is going to win that one.
That's why Philly has to be the most talented team, bro. They have every position covered, even their quarterback. I've never seen a team other than maybe like the late 80s 49ers who have just had 2 quarterbacks where it's like
Hey, don't forget about the 49ers with Alex Smith and Kaepernick.
Oh yeah.
Alex Smith got benched and Kaepernick.
Let me tell you, boy, that QB competition.
That was wild, man.
I'm honestly still surprised to this day that Kaepernick came in the way he did.
And took that job. I'm shocked, too. I got New Orleans in that one. Foles' miracle ends.
Like, by how much? Easy go, or?
31-21.
Okay. Chargers, Patriots.
Here we go, Chargers, Patriots.
Your boy, Phillip Rivers.
My boy, Phillip Rivers versus my boy,
Brady.
Brady. I'm pretty sure Phillip Rivers has never beaten Brady.
Never.
0-7.
Something like that.
They're going into Foxborough.
That's why I'm like,
in January.
What are you figuring here?
In
man?
January, into Foxborough. And they're going to beat the Patriots. I'm telling you right now, this is no joke. This is the best team in the NFL. This is the best roster in the NFL.
The Chargers?
Yes.
I just got done blowing the Eagles.
No, I'm telling you. All across the board, look at this team. They are studs. The receivers,
I feel like Goku with the instant transmission right now, bro. Like, I got 2 fingers on my temple trying to figure this out.
Keenan Allen, their offensive...
Great receiver, I won't lie.
Keenan Allen is underrated.
Explosive.
He's in the top category. He's with those guys. He's not as big as those guys.
He can do anything.
He is with those guys. And then you got Mike Williams as a huge target.
You need a stopgap running back? Keenan Allen. You need a guy on the edge who can suddenly just turn into a fucking runner out of nowhere. Looks like a play-action pass, but you actually handed it off to fucking Keenan Allen. That's your boy.
I remember like 2 years ago, he caught like 18 balls in one game or something.
It's ridiculous.
And then
ways you can get the ball to him is unlimited.
And then we got Antonio Gates, the ageless wonder. They got Hunter Henry.
Is he 28 or is he 38? The world may never know.
They got Hunter Henry, who tore his ACL in May. They activated him this week. He's playing this week against the Patriots. And then we got 2 good running backs. He'll be on a snap count, but he'll do something. He'll do something in that game.
Is he gonna grab 2 passes?
Will he catch 2 balls? Yes.
3? How high are you willing to go for
I'll take the under on 2.5.
Okay.
Melvin Gordon is one of the best running backs in the league.
Has been since, honestly, he was drafted.
Yeah, he was the first year or so. The first year he wasn't utilized correctly, but after that he's been good.
No, but he was good his rookie year. They just didn't utilize him correctly.
Yeah, he scored 0 touchdowns that year. Was the main.
I watched him and was like, he's better than this. What are you guys doing? And then they figured it out.
We had this discussion last time. Rivers...
He's a dog.
Is a dog. He is a Hall of Fame quarterback without the Super Bowl.
Are you willing to say he's better than Marino this time?
If Rivers wins a Super Bowl this year, I might say that. I don't know. We'll see.
They might even have a debate at that point, honestly.
Here we go.
Marino didn't get one.
The Dynasty, and I hate that I'm doing this.
I'm picking them to go to the Super Bowl.
Every year,
I think they beat the Chargers.
I pick the Patriots to win it all, every year. But how can Brady do it forever? I know I'm going to be wrong, and I know I'm going to get... People are going to say, man, you're an idiot, you're a dumbass.
Well, we don't have that many listeners.
But here's what I'm going to do. Can't claim the Dynasty is over, but they are losing this game. The Chargers are 8-1 on the road. They are road dogs. Road warriors. They love being on the road.
I didn't know that stat. That's interesting.
Foxborough in January, man. This is...
That's not a place you want to be.
This is going to be the best game of the weekend.
That's like the Roman Coliseum.
Here's the one thing. We have Gronk. He was hurt half the year, and then he did not... He had like one good game, and there was games he had like 0 targets at the end of the year. I have this weird... Maybe they're like hiding Gronk, even though it's hard to do. Like maybe they're just going to let him loose in the playoffs, and that's the one thing that worries me.
I suspect that's probably the case.
He's an X factor any game he plays.
Well... Some argue that he's the best tight end ever.
Yeah, I mean,
It's honestly really hard to argue that.
Yeah, he definitely had like the best stretch as a tight end of all time.
That dude is a fucking matchup nightmare.
Yeah.
You can't tackle him. You can't put a linebacker on him because he's too fast.
Yeah.
But you can't put a corner on him because he's too big.
I'm telling you.
Gronk is broken. They need to nerf Gronk.
I got a feeling the Chargers are going to win this game.
I think you're crazy. I think Rivers is going to go 0-8.
Give me the Chargers. Let me get a prediction. It'll be a close game. It's going to be 28-24 Chargers.
I honestly wouldn't be shocked if it was 24-13.
Patriots?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think the Patriots are going to the Super Bowl, honestly. I'm sticking with my Rams-Patriots prediction.
I respect it. I just think...
I can't see any other way it's going to shake out.
I just can't imagine...
Maybe the Saints could beat the Rams, but that's getting a little ahead.
I'm telling you, I'm coming with these bold predictions, but they're real predictions. They're not just for show.
Well, then let's get to the less interesting one. The Cowboys and the Rams.
Cowboys and the Rams, all right? The Rams are one of the worst teams in the league against the run, giving up like 5 yards per carry, versus who I just said was the best runner in the league.
And why do you think that is? Because their defense was so dominant for years.
Well, the Rams, they're all in right now. They gave away a bunch of draft picks, a bunch of money. They have Aqib Talib, Marcus Peters, Ndamukong Suh, Aaron Donald. They got this defense they built to win now. And the first 2 or 3 games of the year, they were like, I was like, oh my God, these fuckers are for real. But since then, they give up 54 or 51 to the Chiefs. They're giving up points to the Cardinals. And
well, the Chiefs are explosive.
Exactly, but 51, big number for a defense with those names on it. And then you have Gurley. He missed the last 2 games of the year. He just had a bye week. He was injured. He's probably going to be healthy now. The only problem I have with that is last week the Cowboys played the Seahawks, who were averaging the most rushing yards per game, and they held them to like 100 rushing yards. And they were averaging like 180
Well, I told you the Seahawks are a shell of themselves.
And here's my thing. This Cowboys linebacking core is amazing with Jalen Smith and Van Der Esch and Sean Lee.
I was going to say, don't forget the old man.
Right. I don't even know if he's playing, but I'm going to throw him in there.
Might as well. Fuck it.
Their corners and safeties are good. Byron Nelson, I think, is one of theirs. Could be wrong. I think that's his name. I got a couple Michigan players on defense. Taco Charlton, Jordan Lewis.
His name is Taco?
Yeah, his name's Taco Charlton.
Fascinating.
It's very fascinating. But then, on offense, their O-line got healthy. They didn't play the last week of the year. Zeke didn't play the last week of the year. He was banged up. He got healthy. They're going to run this ball down their throat.
Oh, absolutely.
They're not as good on the road, though, is my main issue.
My question is, so can they pound, touchdown, field goal, punt, whatever the outcome is, and then watch as the Rams score a touchdown in 30 seconds?
Here's what I'm
And then try to respond. Can they do that?
I don't think...
You even said yourself, they can't win a big game, or at least you were quoting other people who would criticize them, but that's got to be a legitimate factor going into that matchup.
They're not explosive enough to outscore the Rams. Like, they can't win a shootout. They don't have enough pieces.
But
here's what they're going to do. They're going to feed Zeke. Zeke's going to eat. He's going to get his yards. I'll give my prediction in a minute. But Gurley being healthy is a big thing. Cowboys just stopped the Seahawks run game, which I thought was good. So, if they can slow Gurley down, Jared Goff played in one playoff game before, and he lost to the Falcons last year.
Correct.
He played all right. He didn't have any picks. He might have had a fumble, but he didn't have any turnovers that I saw.
But he wasn't exciting.
Right. He had 1 touchdown, 250 yards, and the Falcons' defense wasn't anything to write home about, you know? There's a lot of game scripts here. If the Rams get up big, this game's over. If they get up 14-0, I think this game's over. I just don't think Dak has the capability to chuck it downfield every
I
play.
honestly believe if on the first drive the Cowboys get a field goal and then on the next drive in like significantly less time the Rams score a touchdown, the game's over.
Yeah.
I think that would just completely break them.
Dallas has to score touchdowns when they get in the red zone.
I don't believe in Jason Garrett as head coach.
Me either.
Especially once we get past the wild card.
Yeah, he probably just got like 10 more years, though, since he won a playoff game. They need to do something. I like Dak, though. I like Zeke.
I like Dak.
Cooper. Their core on offense is good. Their defense is young and getting better. So they're going to force to be reckoned with in that division, for sure. It's just a matter of, do I think they're going to beat the Rams?
Are they?
Yeah.
Wow.
Cowboys are going to beat the Rams this week.
This guy.
I'm telling you, bold but real. These are bold predictions, but they're real predictions.
Why? Because they're just going to feed Zeke?
I just don't believe the Rams looked bad at the end of the year. This Gurley getting healthy thing that's the one thing I'm leaning on. Like, if he's completely healthy, but their defense is good. They can stop the run. And their secondary is good, too.
What if the Cowboys are just a little too gassed, man, and they can't feed Zeke? And then they get slowed down just a little bit.
Then I'm wrong. Won't be the first time, won't be the last.
And so you're going to go out on your sword with this one. There's no convincing you otherwise.
There's some convincing, but I'm gonna roll with it. I got the Cowboys in a close one.
Mahomes.
What's
he going to do? Because I'm guessing you're picking the Chiefs.
Yeah, I got the Chiefs, but it's not particularly an easy pick, just because the Colts are so hot.
I'm picking the Colts, bro.
Yeah. I'm sure you remember a couple years ago when Andrew Luck came back from 28 down.
Played a factor in my decision
Andy
as well.
Reid's got these playoff woes. Like, he can't win a game at home.
I don't think he likes to win playoff games at home.
I think Mahomes is just a different breed. He's got the it factor that Alex Smith didn't have. Alex Smith is a winner. He's a game manager who can win games in the regular season. He doesn't have the it factor. And Mahomes has that.
Not.
And they're explosive on offense with Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Spencer Ware's healthy. They got a backfield.
It totally made the difference.
Yeah. Their defense is getting a little healthier. Their defense had the most sacks in the NFL, and the Colts allowed the fewest sacks. So something's got to give there. I think that the Chiefs probably win a shootout like 38-35, 38-31 maybe. Andrew Luck's going to play well. I just think
it's going to come down to the QB mistakes.
Their offensive weapons aren't as good as the Chiefs. They're not as explosive, but their defense is a little better. So it kind of evens out, but the Chiefs are more explosive, and I just think Mahomes is going to show up in a big game. I just believe he's got it. And he could prove me wrong and just throw 3 picks and lose the game.
I'll take the vet. I'll take the hot team over the one that lost their player and started to struggle right after. And plus, I already told you I don't believe in teams with bad defenses.
Yeah,
So I thought it would be Patriots-Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, but
after Colts destroyed Houston.
After this, I'm kind of switching over to Colts-Patriots, and I think we're just going to get a fucking replay of the one game we had. Yeah, I mean,
when it was like 48-3, that was a good game.
Yeah, that was close.
Nah, give me the Chiefs. The Colts, the way they'd win this game is if they can run the ball and control the game. But I just think...
I think that's what they're going to do, honestly.
Mahomes having the ball in his hands. I don't think that defense is good enough.
What if he throws a pick in, like, the first quarter? Does he rebound?
Yeah, he'll rebound.
You got that much faith in him?
Yeah, I do. I don't know why. Probably because I'm a bandwagon.
Should he be MVP?
Oh, he's 100% the MVP. 50 touchdowns, 5,300 yards or something.
Okay, well then let's get into these conference predictions.
All right, let's get after it.
Chiefs-Chargers, since you're going against your boy Brady in favor of your boy River.
This is bold city right here.
Yeah, this is incredibly bold. I don't even know how you're going out on this limb.
Chiefs played the Chargers week 1. They won. Week 15 they played on Thursday night.
Totally different.
Totally different. That's why I'm getting back to week 15.
Yeah, that's
Chargers were down 2 scores in the fourth quarter, came back to win. Give me the Chiefs. That was in Arrowhead. I'm still taking the Chiefs because the Chiefs should have won that game. And they had that 2-score lead, and I don't think they're giving up a 2-score lead.
Now, if it is Chiefs-Chargers, I'm going Chiefs.
Yeah, but if it's
Patriots-Chiefs, taking the Patriots, man.
But if it's Patriots-Indy, you're taking Patriot.
Yeah.
48-3.
Yeah, it's not even a question. I think Brady owns that franchise. I wouldn't be surprised if he literally has a stake in that franchise.
He retires and then he comes out as like he bought the Colts.
No, man, the Colts I don't take seriously against the Patriots.
I think
but
Andrew Luck will win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, you don't think he will?
No, he will.
Oh,
I think he will.
Okay.
Within the next 5 years, he'll win one. Their defense is young.
I do think the Colts can win a Super Bowl, but I don't think, for another, 5 years probably.
And then we got the NFC. We got New Orleans and Dallas with my bold Dallas prediction. Give me the Saints over Dallas. Dallas beat them early in the year, but Breeze is playoff made. They got a bye. He missed week 17. He's just going to get back to himself, and he's going to beat Dallas.
I honestly don't even think it's a question between the Rams and the Cowboys.
You think
I'm going to take the Rams.
That's fine.
For the reasons I just listed, I think they're just going to come out, make a quick score, and the Cowboys are going to be like,
what do we do?
Oh, shit.
We got to score?
But the Eagles and the Saints that's an interesting game. That's a very interesting game. I'm more susceptible to pick the Eagles, but at the same time, Drew Brees has been there. That Saints team has been there. Whether or not it's even resembling the previous Super Bowl team or not, Drew Brees
they were there last year, too, and they're mad with that Minnesota Miracle.
Yeah.
They're mad about that.
That team is always competing for something. They're always competitive. Drew Brees is always throwing for 4,500 plus yards. It's hard for me to pick against the Saints in this situation, but I honestly just think the Eagles could beat anybody.
Here's the thing about these 4 games.
And then playoff Foles.
If I go 0-4 on these predictions, I would not be shocked.
But if you go 4-0,
I still wouldn't be shocked because they're just that.
All of them could.
All of them could go. I could make
way.
an argument for every team. Like, I don't even know if there's a team left that can't win at all. Maybe the Cowboys would be the only one who I don't think could win at all, just because they're. I don't think Dak could win a Super Bowl, and I don't think Jared Goff can win a Super Bowl right now either.
What's wrong with Jared Goff?
He just doesn't have it, and I just don't feel it. And if he proves me wrong and wins a Super Bowl, gets the MVP, he's waving his trophy around, I guess I'm going to have to take that one in stride, but he'll probably win one eventually. They went out and got all those pieces to win now. I just don't think they're gonna.
I get that too.
They already lost to the Saints, so if they have to play the Saints again, I'm picking the Saints at home.
So you're saying it's going to be
Saints,
Chiefs. Doubling down on that one.
I'm doubling down on
I believe that's what you said last time.
It is what I said last time, and I'm sticking with the Saints. It's going to be like last year, 43 points, whatever. It's going to be a high-scoring game. Give me the Saints.
Is that what we want from our Super Bowls?
Yeah, that's what we want. I mean, you got people with squares and stuff. They love the high-scoring games. They love the crazy scores. You get numbers 3 and 9, you're like, fuck, man, it sucks. And then you somehow win because people are going for 2, Philly special. You got Tom Brady trying to catch a pass. It's crazy.
I couldn't believe they pulled that one out, man. That shit was funny.
I can't believe the Patriots lost that game.
So what's the final score in this Super Bowl, you think?
In the Chiefs-Saints Super Bowl?
Well, that's the only one that matters, right? That's your prediction.
42-38. It's going to get wild, man.
You think it's going to be like the highest scoring Super Bowl game ever?
It's going to get wild.
There's no reason it shouldn't be, honestly.
There's no teams left that are, like, amazing on defense. Philly's pretty good on defense. Indy's decent. Like, every one of these teams is built for a shootout, except for Dallas. The Rams got 3 sweet wide receivers. The Saints, you have Drew Brees and 2 sweet running backs and Michael Thomas. You got New England with Brady. He can just chuck it to Edelman every play, and James White and Gronk.
Or he can call up a play at the line.
Right.
Throw it 3 yards, pick up 8.
They averaged 39 points in their 4 losses this year. So they're just going to chuck it every play.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck, man.
Phillip Rivers, slanging it.
You're really not discouraged by how they went 11-1 and ended up 12-4 though, or whatever it was?
Not really. Like I said, they lost to the Rams 54-51. So if they could score 51, I don't see them losing any more games, I think they're going to make the Super Bowl, man.
Who's Super Bowl MVP in that case? Mahomes?
Well, if the Chiefs win it all, it would be Mahomes.
No question.
Yeah, I mean, unless there was a cornerback with 2 pick sixes or something, something crazy. But it's going to be a quarterback that's MVP for sure. When you have Breeze.
If Kareem Hunt was still there,
would I pick them to beat the Saints?
Would you pick him to be MVP?
No. Out of the teams that are left, there's not a lot of players that could win MVP, I don't think, besides their quarterback. Like maybe Zeke.
Is that just the world we live in?
Yeah, it's all about the quarterback, in my opinion.
What about the NFL draft? Any quarterbacks worth a fuck in that one? Last time you said not really.
Not really. The dude from Oregon's going back to Oregon. I don't think he wants to play for a bummy franchise, so maybe he's going to go back to Oregon.
He's going to get drafted
next
year after for a bummy franchise anyway.
I don't know
what is he thinking?
Maybe he wants to win in college or tear his ACL and
never play football again.
I don't know what he wants to do. And then you got Dwayne Haskins from Ohio State. Besides that, I think it's going to be a defensive draft. Joey Bosa's little brother from Ohio State. He's projected to be number 1 overall.
Do we know the draft order yet?
The draft order?
I mean, obviously they can't have a finalized one, but I'm assuming they figured out numbers 1 through 18 or 20.
Yeah, you got the Cardinals.
They're the number 1 overall pick?
Yeah, and they drafted a quarterback last year, so I don't think they're going to go out and try to get one this year.
What do they draft?
They're going to draft Nick Bosa on defense. It's becoming this game, I think it's always been, where you want to work on your O-line and your D-line. That's where you need to start. And then obviously a quarterback. Besides that, you need the trenches is where you need to build. So
really? Even in today's game where you got 5 out, airing it deep?
Yeah, because you need protection. Like, look at Deshaun Watson. They lost because he couldn't get any protection, and also probably because the Colts. Look at the Colts O-line, 150 rushing yards from Marlon Mack. I think the trenches are where you want to build from there out.
I don't even know how Indy did that.
Yeah, I'm still not convinced about Indy. That's why I'm taking Kansas City.
And that's fair.
They've won 10 of 11, I think, now.
I've seen a decent amount of teams sneak into the playoffs on a hot streak and somehow just win the Super Bowl.
Like the Ravens did a few years ago.
Well, I think the Ravens did it when they won their first Super Bowl, too. I know they were 12-4 back in that year, but they were the wild card still. There was like 2 or 3 other teams in the AFC that were like 12-4 and 13-3 that year for some reason. So there's teams who get hot at the right moment. The Giants did it
twice, I think.
They did, both against the Patriots.
The Patriots Super Bowls are amazing to me because when they first won their 01, 03, and 04, or 01, 02, 04, whatever, they won 3 out of 4.
3 and 4 years.
I'm pretty sure 2 of those ended with a kick from Vinatieri.
Yep.
And then we go to 07, where they play the Giants, and you have the helmet catch. If he doesn't catch that ball, they win another one. And then we go to 2011, when they play the Giants again, and they had a Mario Manningham crazy catch on the sideline.
That shit was insane.
And then we go...
I couldn't even believe Eli threw that ball.
Right.
I thought that was a pick.
Yeah, for sure. And then we go to 2013 against the Seahawks, and they get an interception on the 1-yard line when you have Marshawn Lynch in the backfield.
They shouldn't have won that game.
Exactly. And then you got the Falcons 28-3. They probably shouldn't have won that one. And it just shows you how close these games really are. And people say, oh, it doesn't come down to one play, but...
It usually does.
Like, they're like, oh, something else could have been... The point of football is, if you get down to where you're down 1 and you have a kicker kicking a field goal to win the game, it comes down to that one play. Because your team, that's what your team...
Absolutely.
All of the plays leading up to that led to this one play.
Just think about the Buffalo Bills. They lost 4 Super Bowls, and their best shot was the very first one, and they lost in the very last play of the game. He's wide right. That shit sucks, but that's how football is, man.
Yeah.
You got one play.
And that's why I look at the Patriots and I'm like, yeah, it's sweet they got 5 or 6. They got 5 Super Bowls. Brady's got 5.
5.
Yeah. And he's lost 3, but he could easily be 1-7 or 7-1 or 8-0. There's these one play. You can look at literally one play in every game and think about, wow, if they didn't do that, he would have just lost for sure.
It's interesting how everything's shaken out, but you don't see them winning another one, though. You think this is pretty much the end? Because you don't even have them going to the championship game anymore.
I'm going to get proven wrong, I'm sure. Brady's going to win it all, get MVP.
Like I said in the last podcast we did together, I'm at the point now where, even though people 10 years ago were saying Patriots Super Bowl guaranteed, I'm at the point now where it's like, oh, he's got 5 rings.
Until he retires.
That's the guy I'm going with until he can't do it.
Yeah,
so,
until you have to bring him out in a wheelchair.
I think Mahomes is the future, because ever since you told me about the dude, I was checking for him, and he pulls off some insane shit that, like, Brett Favre would do. This guy's throwing with his left hand, on the run, weird angles. He's doing Aaron Rodgers shit. And he's definitely next up, but I just don't think that's this year. And honestly, next year, not to get ahead of ourselves too much, but I think we might have a Kansas City-Chicago Super Bowl next year.
Yeah, early Super Bowl prediction for next year. I'll go with Cowboys-Colts.
In the Super Bowl?
Sure.
That's kind of wild.
Yeah. That's what we do here. Curious takes.
We just talked about Jason Garrett's overrated as shit.
Cowboys-Colts is the pick for next year.
Oh my god. Who's the Lions pick?
Probably kicker.
What spot are they in?
I think they got the 8th pick. They could get someone good there, dude.
That's a top 10 pick
still.
Yeah,
they beat the Packers.
Who do they need? Well, who cares, man?
They beat the Packers
are done.
in Lambeau in Week 17 to move down like 5 spots.
Yay. Like, that's so dumb, man. How do you go 6-10 and still lose the fucking division to the Packers, who are on a down year? How do you beat them 31-0, move down spots in the draft, and still come in last place in the division? Like, winning that game made everything worse. Everything they do is shit. They're the anti-Midas.
Yeah.
But who are they drafting?
I don't know. They're going to draft someone on defense. They always need to work on that defense. Their O-line's been pretty good lately.
Should they trade Stafford? I know we said they should last time, but should they actually do it now that the season's over?
I don't think anyone's going to give you anything for him. Jalen Ramsey and a second-round pick for Stafford. Who says no? I'd probably do it. He's a diva, but he's good. Give me him and give me a second-rounder and just get a new quarterback. I don't know. I don't want him anymore. He doesn't have it. He's like Kirk Cousins. Get them both out of the league.
That's terrible. A nice take. I think we're just going to leave it at that, though. That's a good bit of sports ball we just talked there.
Yeah.
Any last words you got for the audience, though, in that book?
I don't think so.
I mean, we got tight playoffs, so...
Exactly. These playoffs are going to be good. These are going to be 4 good matchups this weekend. You need to appreciate them.
It's not too often in the last several years that we genuinely get good playoff matchups.
I really believe all 4 of these could go either way.
All of these could be Super Bowl contenders.
Yes. The game I'm most confident about, let's go there, is the Saints over the Eagles.
Really? That's the one I'm least confident about.
That's my point. That just shows you how crazy it is. The one I'm least confident about is probably Dallas over LA.
That's the one I'm most confident about.
That's why I'm telling you this shit is crazy. That's why I'm telling you.
Oh, that's fucking great, man. Oh, that's hilarious. I don't think anything can sum it up better. I'm signing off.
Paul George for MVP.